I'm Mia.
I'm Anouk.
I'm Benicio, hi.
And this is everyone. This is our group.
Hello. I'm Lena. I'm a junior at Grand Valley State University. I'm 21, and our political beliefs are all pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
We're much more towards the side of liberal.
I'm Noah. I'm 23. I graduated from Kalamazoo College with a degree in computer science last year. And yeah, Lena said our political beliefs, we kind of all really don't like Donald Trump.
I'm Emma. I'm 18. It's my first year at Grand Valley State University. And then our political beliefs, like they said, very progressive and liberal.
What do you think about your election system in the US?
Well, so I am of the opinion that our election system is a little bit broken. Because as you guys might know, we use a system called the Electoral College, where a candidate doesn't win based on the number of people who vote for them. It's the states that they win, and then they get a certain number of delegates pledged to them. And then once you get a certain amount of those delegates, then you become the president. And so what that ends up creating is problems with, like, for example, in the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump won, but Hillary Clinton I think she had like 3 million more people who voted for her than for Donald Trump, but she somehow, lost the election. So that right there just kind of, to me says something's not right. There are a lot of,
it takes away the point of voting.
Exactly. And a lot of people in the States too now feel like their vote doesn't matter because, it doesn't, who cares if they vote for this person or the other person? If they vote or not, it won't change anything. If their state
goes the other way, their vote didn't, obviously every vote counts, but it's not really, not so much. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does make you feel like your votes don't matter.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is scary too, because a lot of people might not vote this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we do need everyone to vote.
Mm-hmm.
But some people, like in the last election too, a lot of people voted third party because they just could not decide between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, which I do understand because Hillary Clinton was not the greatest candidate in my opinion either. I was not a big fan of her, but I think that she would have been much better than our current president. But a lot of people could not decide between the two and voted third party, which I think caused a lot of issues as well. So I'm hoping that something like that doesn't happen again this year.
Yeah.
And what do you think about postal voting, since Trump is still trying that voting is a weak point and it's not going to work?
In terms of voting by mail, it's a very good thing, and I think that everyone in this country should vote through mail this year because of the coronavirus. We don't want to get large groups of people all together because that's how it spreads. And so the president, he's been very against mail voting, which is funny because he's done it for pretty much every election that he can vote in. He's voted by mail. But the fact that he's been so against it is because generally for conservatives, the more people who vote, the more liberal leaning the election will turn out to be. And so by him saying, mail-in voting or voting by mail is bad, it's fraudulent, there'll be lots of false ballots, stuff like that, is a way to get the number of people who will vote down. Because he knows the fewer people who vote, the more likely he is to win the election.
Also the more people who would go in person to put their vote in, most of those people are going to be the people who don't really believe in the coronavirus and who feel safe going in person with groups of people. So most of those people are going to be his supporters. Mail-in ballots are mostly, I know there's exceptions, but the majority of people who are going to vote by mail are going to be voting more liberal. And I think he's just trying to make his chances as high as he can get them.
Mhm.
He said in his debate, he said, if you don't vote in person, don't vote at all. That's what he said, which I just think is outrageous, because why is our president not like discouraging people from voting? That's just not okay. But and then there's not much evidence there that voting by mail is actually like fraudulent.
Yeah, there's
Like there's
zero evidence.
right, but he's putting that out there and
Mhm.
trying to discourage people, and I just think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's using fear as like but almost the opposite of fear too, because people should be afraid of the coronavirus, but
Mhm.
he's telling them not to.
Right.
But he knows that the liberals are scared of it, as they rightfully should be.
Right.
Mhm.
So if he can get as many people to vote in person, then most likely those will be his supporters.
Mhm.
And what are your thoughts about the presidential debates, since that is how Trump mostly gets out his messages? And
Well, I first want to say that I don't think he got any sort of messages out during the debate.
Mhm.
He did not say a single thing that actually made sense. He just tried to interrupt. Like he had no point. He did not actually say anything. Because I watched the whole debate. The whole time I was like, other than that, he's not going to condemn white supremacy. That was one
Mhm.
thing that he did say, which, God, I don't know
Yeah.
how to feel about that. That's really great.
I don't think his point of that debate was to actually get any messages across. I think that his point was to make Biden nervous.
Mhm.
He was trying really hard the whole time to just agitate Biden and get him off his game,
Right.
to make him seem weaker, when really
Right.
like he's just being loud. He doesn't have any actual like
Mhm.
evidence to back up his claims.
Mhm.
He's just using his like confidence and loudness to make people believe in him, and showing like, oh, look at Biden, he's like stumbling over his words over here, like you don't want him to be your president, when like really it doesn't matter,
Mhm.
like it doesn't matter as much how they're saying it. Like it does matter for a president to have confidence and like be sure of themselves, but you also have to have, you have to have like substance to your
Exactly.
to what you're saying.
Trump had absolutely no substance to anything that he was saying.
Mhm.
what do you think about him refusing to do it virtually?
I just think it's very disrespectful that he was not willing to do a virtual debate, because with the
Mhm.
state of the country, especially because he had corona when the debate was going on. He had the virus.
Mhm.
We didn't know it yet, but
Mhm.
he did, and I just think that's like exactly irresponsible and disrespectful.
Yeah, but yeah, the debate itself was just awful.
It was
And it
horrible.
was, anyone who watched it knows you needed to drink at least like 4 or 5 beers to get through
It
the
was-
whole thing
it was
without
bad.
losing your mind.
It was really bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was just wow.
Yeah,
I
so
couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I can kind of understand why he rejected a virtual debate, because even in person, like it was just terrible. So virtually, it would have just been more terrible.
Yeah.
But
how much more terrible could it have been?
I still think,
I don't know.
I still think he should have done it and tried to at least present a point with substance in a virtual debate, as opposed to just outright refusing to do it.
Exactly.
Do you think the separate town halls were better? Like, did you get maybe more out of it since there was no Trump interrupting Biden?
I think so, but I also think in those town halls there's more of a susceptibility to misinformation, because your opponent is not directly across from you challenging everything you say. And so in those settings, you can basically kind of just say whatever the heck you want, and no one's gonna interrupt you, no one's gonna argue with you, no one's going to, do any of that. But I think it was effective in that in the town halls, they were talking about policy and they were laying out plans and they were saying what they're actually going to do, instead of calling each other names or things like that.
Right.
So ultimately, yes, I think the town halls were more productive than the debates because you get a closer look at the candidate themselves and what their plans are, which is what you want to vote for.
Yeah, like nobody cares about watching like 2 hours of them spitting insults at each other.
Right,
Like that's not
exactly.
what I want to know about my president.
I'm gonna vote for the louder one.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It was giving absolutely no like helpful information other
No.
than Trump being like, why won't you say law enforcement to Biden over and over?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for participating.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much. Dankeschön. Sorry, we should.
Vielen Dank.
Yeah.
Vielen Dank.
Bye.
Bye.